Su-Yan woke up in a strange forest and was shocked to find herself turned into a white mouse beastman. Before she could understand what happened, a system appeared, announcing she had crossed into the beast world and had only 1 hour left to live. According to the system's rules, Su-Yan's life was calculated in points. Each point could be exchanged for 1 day of life. The fastest way to earn points was to get pregnant and give birth to highly talented offspring. If she successfully got pregnant, her life countdown would pause. In the system shop, the only item she could use was a free pregnancy pill. Su-Yan also discovered a special item. If she accumulated 100 million points, she would have the chance to return to Earth. Thinking of her loving adoptive mother, Su-Yan decided to survive at all costs, so she could return one day. Without hesitation, she swallowed the pregnancy pill and followed the system's instructions. A map appeared, showing the location of the only male beastman within range around her. With little time left, Su-Yan immediately set off to find the target. After following the tracks for a while, she finally found him leaning against a large tree. But as she got closer, she was shocked to realize his condition was extremely critical. He seemed to be 1 step away from death. Looking at the dying male beastman, Su-Yan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The only person who could save her life now was about to die. After the system warned that her life was down to less than 30 minutes, Su-Yan was pushed to a dead end. The only person within the system's search range was this dying male beastman she had just found in the forest. With no time to choose, she decided to bet everything to get a chance to survive. Despite feeling deeply embarrassed and confused, Su-Yan mated with the strange male beastman, as required by the system. Seeing him on the verge of death, she even worried he wouldn't last until the task was complete. Meanwhile, the countdown to her death kept ticking, making her increasingly tense. When the time dropped to just tens of seconds, Su-Yan was almost in despair. She held tightly onto the beastman's hand, fearing for her life, while also feeling complicated that her first child would come in such strange circumstances. The timer dropped to 8 seconds. Then 4 seconds, nearly suffocating her. Just when she thought it was all over, the countdown suddenly stopped at 3 seconds. The system confirmed the task success, meaning Su-Yan was pregnant and temporarily escaped death. Knowing the baby in her womb was her only hope of survival, Su-Yan quickly left the scene. The system guided her to head back to the mouse tribe in the west, find a safe place, and prepare for childbirth. On the way, she worried about the future and felt a pang of hunger, likely a reaction to the pregnancy. However, what Su-Yan didn't know was that after she left, the male beastman's body sparked with strange lightning. That mysterious energy quickly healed all of his seemingly fatal wounds. Shortly after, he woke up in his panther beast form, with his body fully recovered. Recalling that he was forced to mate by a strange female while unconscious, the male beastman became furious. Filled with killing intent, he swore to find the one who did this to him and wouldn't let it go easily. After narrowly escaping death and successfully getting pregnant, Su-Yan started her journey back to the mouse tribe in the west, following the system's guidance. Along the way, the system explained this world to her. The beast world was divided into 2 regions by a vast beast forest. The east was the territory of fierce beasts and birds, where wars and conflicts raged constantly. Conversely, the west was home to smaller beast tribes with a relatively peaceful and stable life. Upon arriving at the mouse tribe, Su Yan quickly realized their civilization was extremely backward, much like the primitive age of humans. What shocked her most was that the beastmen still ate raw meat. Seeing a young man use his teeth to tear into a piece of bloody raw meat, Su Yan felt nauseous, drawing everyone's attention. Her strange reaction made the tribe members very curious. An old woman came up and asked whose female she was. Right then, the system displayed her identity info, letting Su Yan know this body's father was Aola from the Miluda family. She followed the prompt and introduced herself as Aola's daughter. However, that answer instantly made people suspicious. No one in the tribe had ever heard of Aola having a daughter. Just then, a male beastman named Lin Lang appeared. He was a well-known male and favored by many females in the tribe. As soon as he saw Su Yan, Lin Lang was attracted by her beauty. In his eyes, she was the most beautiful female he'd ever seen. Without holding back, he even joked that Aola owed him 2-star coins, so he should just use her to pay off the debt. Su Yan immediately objected. In her view, a debtor should pay their own debts, it had nothing to do with her. But her strong reaction made Lin Lang even more interested. Unlike the usual weak females, Su Yan was both beautiful and had a personality. Still, Lin Lang didn't forget to evaluate her appearance. He thought Su Yan was too skinny, and even her ability to bear children was concerning. In the beastman world, a female's value was mostly determined by her reproductive ability. So this remark was essentially an insult. Su Yan naturally didn't accept this. She retorted that getting pregnant had nothing to do with being skinny or fat, then immediately turned and walked away. But what annoyed her was that Lin Lang kept tailing her. Just then, a middle-aged male beastman appeared and threw 2-star coins at Lin Lang. That person was Aola, Su Yan's nominal father. He wanted to pay off the debt to avoid trouble. But Lin Lang clearly had no interest in the 2-star coins anymore. What he wanted now was Su Yan. He directly asked Aola to name a price for her. This behavior made Su Yan very uncomfortable, feeling like she was being treated as a commodity. Meanwhile, Aola also began to suspect her identity. He recalled a white mouse female who used to live in the female cave years ago, then suddenly disappeared. Looking at Su Yan's current age, he couldn't help but think that the female might have gotten pregnant and given birth to her. After some thought, Aola neither agreed nor rejected Lin Lang's request. He said that in 2 days, the tribe's coming-of-age ceremony would take place. At that time, the tribe shaman would test and determine the reproductive grade of all females. It wouldn't be too late to discuss this after the results were out. Hearing this, Lin Lang showed disdain. He thought that with Su Yan's skinny frame, her reproductive ability would definitely be low. By then, let alone 2-star coins, her value might not even be worth a few copper coins. However, Aola didn't think so. He directly cut off the conversation and told Su Yan to follow him home. For Su Yan, this was clearly the best choice. At least following this nominal father was much safer than continuing to be stared at by Lin Lang like prey. Watching the father and daughter leave, Lin Lang had no intention of giving up. On the contrary, Su Yan's uniqueness only intrigued him more. In his heart, the male beastman secretly decided that no matter what, he had to possess this special female. After taking Su Yan away from the crowd, Aola led her up to the cliff area where his family lived. There, he met a young male beastman and called him over. That was Xiao Luo, Aola's son. when he heard his father introduce Su Yan as his sister. Xiao Luo was stunned because until now, he had never heard that his father had another daughter. However, before he could ask anything else, Su Yan was struck by hunger pangs. Seeing a pile of fruit nearby, she rushed over and devoured it. But strangely, after eating for a while, she felt intense nausea. Seeing her retching, Xiao Luo was very worried. He thought she had been starving for so long that her stomach couldn't handle it. Meanwhile, Su Yan was also puzzled. Ever since she got pregnant, her body seemed to be showing abnormal reactions. Eating anything made her feel sick, but not eating left her starving. Looking around the cave, she saw chunks of bloody raw meat hanging everywhere. Just the sight of it was enough to make her nauseous. As a modern person from Earth, she really couldn't accept the primitive eating habits of the beastman here. Not long after, Xiao Luo returned with a precious bowl of goat milk. According to him, this milk was usually only for Aola, as it was a very rare food in the tribe. Seeing Su Yan so frail, he secretly brought it for her, though it had a strong gamey smell. Fortunately, Su Yan didn't throw up this time. After feeling a bit better, she took the chance to ask Xiao Luo about the ceremony and the tribe shaman that everyone kept mentioning. Hearing that, Xiao Luo began to explain to her the cruel rules of the beastman world. He said the coming-of-age ceremony was the most important event for the unmarried females in the tribe. On this day, the shaman would use a special stone called the female stone to test each person's reproductive ability. In the beast world, a female's value was almost entirely decided by her ability to bear children. The higher her reproductive grade, the more beastmen would pursue her, giving her more resources and a higher status. Xiao Luo also revealed a truth that left Su Yan deeply shocked: the gender ratio in this world was extremely skewed. There was roughly one female for every 20 males. Because of this, a female would often live with multiple males at once. However, even so, there were still many males who couldn't find a mate. That was why a place called the female cave existed. This was where females with low reproductive abilities or those not chosen gathered. Male beastmen could use supplies to trade for mating rights with them. Hearing this, Su Yan's face immediately changed. She quickly understood that females evaluated with low reproductive abilities had almost no control over their own lives. They were sent to the female cave and became breeding tools for countless beastmen. When Su Yan asked if that meant they were treated as trash, Xiao Luo could only nod. What chilled her even more was his next sentence. Females in the female cave usually didn't live very long. Some only lasted a few months, and at most about 2 years, before dying of exhaustion. The atmosphere instantly grew heavy. Just then, Aola returned from the shaman's place. He announced that he had finished registering Su Yan for the coming-of-age ceremony coming up. At the same time, he told her that this body's real name was Bao Zhou Miluda. Aola seriously warned her that the ceremony's results would determine her future. If her reproductive ability didn't meet the standards, she would likely be sent straight to the female cave. Hearing this, Su Yan couldn't help but think of Lin Lang. Even though that beast man was annoying, at least he had expressed a desire to take her to his side. So she bluntly asked Aola, "Isn't there still Lin Lang?" But Su Yan knew very well in her heart, the way Lin Lang looked at her was not out of affection or pure liking. It was the gaze of a predator locked onto prey that he was determined to get. And what worried her the most right now was that the coming-of-age ceremony would start in just 2 days. Once the test results were unfavorable, Her fate could very well be no different from those locked in the female cave. After hearing Aola explain about the ceremony, Suyen was still not overly worried. To her, although Lin Lang was a bit hateful, he was one of the male beastmen with the best conditions in the tribe. From his clothes made of coarse cloth instead of animal skins or leaves, along with his status and influence, Suyen guessed he must be a promising young man. Hearing her analysis, Aola was surprised. In a beastman's perception, most females only knew how to eat and breed. Very few had the ability to observe or think like that. This made him even more convinced that Suyen was indeed his daughter. When Suyen wondered why he didn't doubt her identity, Aola revealed a beastman's secret. Every male could sense their child's bloodline through scent. This special instinct was granted by the beast god. Otherwise, in a world where a female could have multiple mates at once, it would be very hard to know whose child was whose. After that, Suyen officially rejected the name Baozhou that Aola gave her, insisting she only wanted to be called Suyen. Aola didn't object, and was actually quite pleased with the name. Before leaving, he left Suyen in Xiaoluo's care, instructing his son to prepare clothes and food for his newly found sister. While helping Suyen change clothes, Xiaoluo told her about their family. His mother died shortly after giving birth to him, because her reproductive ability was only medium, making the pregnancy extremely difficult. Later, Aola was severely injured during a hunt, drastically reducing his strength, and their lives became increasingly hard. Even so, Aola didn't remarry. Only occasionally would he go to the female cave to fulfill his physical needs, just like other beastmen. Hearing this, Suyen immediately understood something. The biological mother of this body was very likely a female who once lived in the female cave. Perhaps after getting pregnant with her, that female left or met an accident. Time flew by quickly. 2 days later, the coming-of-age ceremony was held grandly at the Beast God Temple. This was the most important event of the year for the Mouse tribe, attracting almost all beastmen to attend. In the crowd, many male beastmen had already started discussing the outstanding females who would participate in this ceremony. Cayenne, the former chief's grandson, and Lin Lang's best friend, was extremely excited when he saw Amelie, the shaman's granddaughter. He even wanted to become her mate. The two talked about the ceremony. Female competition was where females vied to choose suitable males. Conversely, male competition was a contest among males to win the favor of females. This showed that females with high reproductive abilities held absolute dominance in choosing a mate. While everyone was discussing, Lin Lang also quickly spotted Suyen appearing at the square. His eyes instantly locked onto her. As for Suyen, she was amazed by the scale of the ceremony. Before her was the vast Beast God Temple, with hundreds of beastmen gathered around. Xiaoluo led the way while enthusiastically introducing to her that the person presiding over the ritual was Shaman Gulamu, and her granddaughter Amelie would also be tested today. There was also La Nale, the daughter of the current chief. Whoever married her would almost certainly secure the chance to become the next chief. Because of this, the two names drawing the most attention at this ceremony were La Nale and Amelie. Shortly after, Shaman Gulamu stepped forward and officially declared the start of the reproductive testing ritual. According to the rules, each female would drop their blood onto the female stone. Based on the stone's reaction, the shaman would determine that person's reproductive grade. The first female called was Shawabalali Ku. As soon as she stepped onto the stage, many male beastmen below instantly cheered. showing she had no small appeal in the tribe. Shawa bit her fingertip and dripped blood onto the stone. Immediately, the stone emitted a fairly strong light. After checking, the shaman announced the result. Upper middle reproductive grade. This was considered a very good result. Enough to make Shawa a sought-after target for many beastmen. The next person was Jialian Tua. After dropping her blood onto the stone, the light emitted was extremely faint. Just looking at the stone's reaction, everyone guessed the result. Sure enough, the shaman coldly declared, lower reproductive grade. Hearing that conclusion, Jialian instantly broke down. She cried in panic, repeatedly insisting the stone was wrong, and begging not to be sent to the female cave. But no one changed the decision. Under the witness of the whole tribe, Jialian was dragged away screaming in despair. After that, each female stepped up one by one to test their reproductive ability with the stone. Results were announced continuously with various grades, from middle, upper middle to high grade, making the atmosphere at the Beast God Temple increasingly lively. But the most anticipated figure finally appeared. It was Amelie Gusa, the shaman's granddaughter. As soon as she stepped onto the stage, the whole square instantly erupted in cheers. Many male beastmen shouted her name, even publicly expressing their desire to be her mate. Watching that passionate reaction, Su Yan couldn't help but observe her curiously. By modern beauty standards, Amelie wasn't a standout beauty. But after arriving in the beast world, Su Yan understood that looks were secondary. What determined a female's status here was reproductive ability. As long as she could bear many healthy offspring, even with an average appearance, she would be heavily pursued by beastmen. Sure enough, as soon as Amelie's blood hit the stone, it instantly burst, with a blinding light much brighter than anyone before. At that moment, the entire square seemed to explode. The male beastmen were so excited they cheered non-stop, competing to express their affection for her. This was almost the highest reproductive grade a female could achieve in the tribe. Gulamu looked at the result with great satisfaction and loudly declared, Amelie Gusa, super high reproductive grade. Amelie was incredibly proud of this result. She politely thanked her grandmother and proudly stepped down, amidst the admiring gazes of the male beastmen and the envy of other females. In her heart, Amelie even thought that Lin Lang must be watching her. After all, in the tribe, only she was a worthy match for such an excellent man as Lin Lang. However, when she turned to look, Amelie quickly noticed something wrong. Lin Lang's eyes were not on her at all. The person he was looking at was Su Yan. That made Amelie instantly annoyed. To her, aside from a pretty face, Su Yan had nothing comparable to her. With such a skinny figure, her reproductive ability definitely wasn't high. Sooner or later, Lin Lang would realize that. Right then, the shaman's voice echoed. The next person, Miluta family, Su Yan. Hearing her name, Su Yan took a deep breath and stepped forward. This was the moment that would decide her fate. If the result was too low, it was highly likely she would be sent to the female cave like Jialian. Under the watchful eyes of the entire tribe, Su Yan bit her fingertip and dripped blood onto the stone. Everyone immediately watched intently. But 1 second passed. 2 seconds passed. 3 seconds passed. The stone remained completely silent. No light appeared at all. Gulamu rubbed her eyes continuously, thinking she had seen it wrong. Because to her knowledge, even a female with the lowest reproductive ability, or even a male beastman, would cause some reaction from the stone. Seeing this unprecedented scene, the beastmen present immediately began to murmur, wondering if the stone was broken. Hearing this, Galamu also thought it was very likely. After all, she had never seen anything like this in her life. Without hesitation, she quickly brought another stone and asked Su Yan to test again. Everyone held their breath waiting. Su Yan dripped blood on the new stone, but the result was exactly the same. No reaction appeared. This time, even Galamu was completely stunned. The atmosphere in the square seemed dead silent. Lana showed a gloating expression, thinking Su Yan was definitely worse than the lowest grade. Even Amelie didn't understand what was happening. As for Su Yan, she stood before the stone with a puzzled look. She couldn't help but think of a possibility. Could the reason be that she didn't belong to this world? Even Lin Lang was clearly worried about this situation. After 2 consecutive tests, with no reaction from the stone, Galamu, after some thought, had to make a temporary conclusion. In the case where the reproductive ability couldn't be determined, Su Yan would be placed in the lower grade. Hearing this, Su Yan immediately objected. To her, if the stone couldn't yield a result, it didn't mean her reproductive ability was low. Who knows, maybe her ability was too special, beyond what the stone could detect? If the result couldn't be determined, then her grade should be undetermined. Later, it could be reassessed based on her actual reproductive ability. That would be much fairer and more convincing. The shaman was surprised by Su Yan's explanation, so she asked about her background. Su Yan then recounted that she grew up in the beast forest. Her mother had given birth to 9 children in one litter, including 8 brothers, and she was the only daughter. This information instantly shocked Galamu, because in her knowledge, most beastmen only gave birth to 2 to 3 kids at a time. The highest record in the entire mouse tribe's history was only 7. Having 9 children in one pregnancy was almost impossible. Su Yan continued to seize the opportunity. She asserted that she was the only daughter of that female with extraordinary reproductive ability, so it was highly likely she had inherited her mother's special physique. However, not everyone believed her words. Cayenne immediately stood out to question. Rang Tombo and Hung Ji Tananbua Noi lacked any solid proof. No one knew if she truly had 8 brothers, or if she was just making up stories to avoid the female cave. Lin Lang was about to speak up to defend Su Yan, but very soon, Galamu spoke up to end all discussions. Finally, she decided to temporarily set aside the matter of Su Yan's reproductive ability. If the female stone couldn't give an answer, then her fate will be decided in the next part of the coming-of-age ceremony. That is the mate selection. This is the stage of choosing a partner. According to the tribe's rules, males will make their choice first. Then the female will decide whether to accept or not. As soon as Galamu finished speaking, a voice rang out in the square. I choose Su Yan. The one who spoke was Lin Lang. At that moment, the females there immediately buzzed with excitement. No one expected that the most sought-after male beastman of the tribe would choose Su Yan instead of females with high reproductive abilities like a Shirley. Even a Shirley and Lana were stunned. Even the tribe shaman couldn't help but remind him to think carefully. She thought that with his status and strength, Lin Lang should choose a female with strong reproductive ability to give birth to elite descendants for the tribe. After all, he is a descendant of a warrior family, and the strongest young male beastman right now. However, Lin Lang was completely unfazed. He bluntly declared that even if Su Yan couldn't have children, he still wanted to choose her. To him, carrying on the bloodline wasn't his sole responsibility. But just when everyone thought Su Yan would immediately agree, she unexpectedly asked a question that stunned the entire square. How much betrothal gift does warrior Lin Lang have? Hearing this question, Xiao Luo almost couldn't stand steadily. In the beast world, it is normally the males who prepare betrothal gifts to marry females. But Su Yan's way of asking was exactly like a female master considering whether to accept a male concubine or not. This bold action left everyone flabbergasted. Many females immediately mocked her for overestimating herself. Someone whose reproductive ability hasn't even been determined yet. What right does she have to make Lin Lang lower himself to be her partner? However, Lin Lang wasn't angry at all, on the contrary. He walked straight up to Su Yan and took out all of his wealth. 16 crystal coins. As soon as these crystal coins appeared, the crowd immediately exploded. Because these were no ordinary items. Looking at their transparency, these crystal coins belonged to high-level magic beasts. Seeing such a strong reaction from everyone, Su Yan asked Xiao Luo about crystal stones and magic beasts. Xiao Luo very seriously explained to Su Yan and the friends watching the video. Magic beasts are terrifying creatures, living deep in the beast forest. Much stronger than wild beasts. They even have the ability to steal a beastman's talent by hunting and eating individuals with special abilities. Therefore, hunting magic beasts is extremely dangerous. And crystal coins are the most precious loot obtained after each hunt. The more transparent the coin, the higher the quality. Which means that magic beast was stronger. All 16 crystal coins that Lin Lang took out were of top-tier quality. Their value was absolutely astonishing. Under the admiring gazes of the whole tribe, Lin Lang looked straight at Su Yan and calmly asked, "Is this enough?" Clearly, he was using all of his sincerity to pursue the female in front of him. The surrounding females couldn't stop gossiping. That amount of crystal coins was a massive fortune. Enough to even marry a Shirley or Lana, the two most sought-after females in the tribe. Thus, no one could understand why Su Yan was still hesitating to give an answer. Just as Su Yan was about to announce her decision, a series of loud explosions suddenly rang out from outside the tribe. Panicked screams quickly spread everywhere. Magic beasts are here. Magic beast attack. The entire square instantly fell into chaos. Realizing the critical situation, Tribe Shaman Galamu immediately stepped up to command. She demanded all females quickly transform into beast form and move down to the secret cave below the beast god temple to seek refuge. A Shirley also immediately turned into a black rat and led the other females to retreat. While everyone was hastily fleeing, Su Yan also turned into a white rat and jumped onto Xiao Luo's shoulder, saying she just wanted to return home quickly. When Xiao Luo was about to take her away, suddenly Lin Lang appeared, without waiting for Su Yan's consent. He directly snatched her from Xiao Luo's hands and held her in his arms. Lin Lang was extremely confident, declaring he would let her witness with her own eyes how he hunted magic beasts. But Su Yan immediately refused. Despite this, Lin Lang gave her no choice. In his mind, he had offered the betrothal gift, and Su Yan hadn't publicly rejected it in front of everyone. Therefore, she was practically already his female. Despite Su Yan's protests, Lin Lang stuffed her into his shirt and rushed straight to the battlefield. Initially, he was very confident in his own strength. But when he saw the scene outside, even Lin Lang was stunned. Everywhere were giant magic beasts, frantically slaughtering the beastmen. Their size far exceeded ordinary magic beasts, and their aura was much more terrifying. Looking at that scene, Su Yan couldn't help but ask anxiously, "Can you beat them?" Lin Lang didn't answer directly, but merely looked ahead calmly. Right after that, he immediately took action. As the strongest male of the tribe's younger generation, Lin Lang's strength was indeed very formidable. With just a single punch to the ground, the entire surrounding area immediately shook violently. From the earth, countless sharp stone spikes shot up, piercing the bodies of multiple magic beasts at once. That scene left Su Yan in awe. In her eyes, this ability was no different from superpowers in sci-fi movies. However, looking closer, she realized something was wrong. The pupils of these magic beasts were glowing red. They looked like they were being controlled by something, rather than acting on instinct, like normal predators. Just then, a cry for help rang out. Kyan was grabbed by a giant magic beast in its hand. Seeing his close friend in danger, Lin Lang immediately rushed to save him. But it was too late, right in front of everyone's eyes. The magic beast opened its mouth and bit off Kyan's head. Kyan died on the spot. Witnessing that scene, Lin Lang instantly turned pale. As for the magic beast, after killing Kyan, it turned its head to look straight at Lin Lang. The monster roared and lunged straight at him. Su Yan panicked and repeatedly urged Lin Lang to dodge. But just at this moment, Lin Lang realized his body couldn't move anymore. After a few seconds of terror, Lin Lang immediately understood what was happening. It was a domain. An extremely rare skill that only appears in high-level magic beasts. Within the domain, enemies are almost completely suppressed and can only let the magic beast slaughter them. Even Lin Lang had never thought he would encounter such a terrifying ability. Knowing the situation was extremely dangerous, he immediately asked Su Yan if she could still move. If she could, she should run away immediately. But hearing his explanation, Su Yan felt even more desperate. In other words, they were currently pushed into a dead end. In her heart, she was both scared and angry. If this arrogant male beastman hadn't dragged her to the battlefield to show off, she would have been safe in the secret cave long ago. Now, not only was Lin Lang in danger, but her own little life was about to be lost as well. Just as Su Yan thought she was about to die, the system interface suddenly flashed a bright red warning. An emergency notification quickly appeared. System detects the fetus in your womb is facing the risk of death. To protect the baby, the system unlocks the special skill, instant teleportation. Each use consumes 50 points. Maximum 3 uses per day. Confirm skill activation. Cornered by a high-level magic beast, Su Yan had no time to think. She immediately yelled in her mind, requesting to activate instant teleportation. Right after that, the system began operating. A blinding light enveloped her and Lin Lang. When they opened their eyes again, both were no longer on the battlefield. Lin Lang immediately observed the surroundings warily. He couldn't believe they had appeared in the middle of a forest far from the tribe. Based on his knowledge, this kind of miraculous ability could only be the blessing of the beast god. After observing the terrain, Lin Lang quickly determined they had been teleported to an area near the river, far away from where the magic beasts were attacking. Meanwhile, Su Yan breathed a sigh of relief. Through this incident, she understood another important point about the birthing system. This system might ignore the host's safety, but it would absolutely not let the fetus be in danger. Precisely because the baby's life was threatened, the life-saving skill was activated. Despite escaping death, Lin Lang's mood remained extremely heavy. His tribe was still being attacked by magic beasts. His friends, relatives, and fellow tribesmen were still fighting out there. After a moment of silence, he made a decision. Lin Lang told Su Yan that he must return to join the fight. Before leaving, he carefully instructed her to wait here. But at the same time, he prepared himself for the worst-case scenario. If he didn't return after a day, it meant he was dead. In that case, Su Yan should find another male to rely on. But if he made it back alive, she must become his female. Hearing that domineering declaration, Su Yan just frowned and asked back, "What if I refuse?" Lin Lang burst out laughing. For him, he was about to return to a life-and-death battlefield. Yet the female in front of him still wouldn't say anything nice to hear. Looking at the male beastman preparing to risk his life returning to save the tribe, Su Yan suddenly changed her view of him. Before, she only felt he was arrogant, overbearing, and liked to force others. But now, she had to admit, he was a responsible and strong male. Furthermore, the earth manipulation ability that Lin Lang displayed earlier was indeed very powerful. In her mind, Su Yan even had a strange thought. If she had children with him later, perhaps the offspring would be very outstanding too. Finally, she agreed. Receiving her answer, Lin Lang immediately gave the whole bag of crystal coins to Su Yan. The 16 top-grade crystal coins he had used as a betrothal gift now all belonged to her. Lin Lang said that if he couldn't return, this fortune was enough for Su Yan to go to another tribe and live a stable life. Looking at the male beastman about to rush into danger, Su Yan couldn't help but remind him to be careful. She told him it's better to live in disgrace than die in glory. Lin Lang chuckled upon hearing this. He even didn't forget to tease her that he would definitely return, to wait for her to give birth to a litter of smart rat pups for him. Then, he transformed back into a black rat and dashed off. Looking at his retreating back, Su Yan suddenly felt like she had just heard his final words before battle. Left alone, Su Yan started studying the system. She then realized the system also came with a private storage space where all kinds of items could be kept. She immediately put Lin Lang's entire bag of crystal coins in there, so she wouldn't lose it. Additionally, the little food she hoarded earlier was also stored in the space. While exploring it, Su Yan discovered an even more amazing function. In dangerous situations, the system could temporarily protect the fetus inside the storage space. This made her realize even more that this was truly a system created solely for the purpose of childbearing and raising offspring. Thinking of this, Su Yan felt regretful. Had she known earlier she'd be wandering alone in the forest, she would have taken the chance to empty Aole's food storage before leaving. The current meager amount of food obviously couldn't sustain her for long. So she silently noted an important lesson. In the future, no matter where, the first thing to do is always hoard supplies. The following days, Su Yan lived alone in the forest. 1 day passed. Then 5 days passed. Her belly started to grow at a visible speed. Another 7 days passed. Every day, Su Yan sat on a tree branch, looking towards the tribe, hoping to see Lin Lang's familiar figure appear. But he still didn't return. Gradually, the hope in her heart started to waver. Finally, when the last bit of food disappeared from the storage space, Su Yan knew she couldn't keep waiting anymore. Perhaps she and Lin Lang only had the fate to meet, but not the destiny to be together. Despite the regret, she had to keep living. For herself and the baby in her womb. Su Yan left her tree shelter, starting to search for food in the vast forest. However, she quickly realized a serious problem. She had no sense of direction at all. As a modern person who transmigrated to the beast world, her wilderness survival skills were practically zero. While she was fumbling in the deep forest, a sudden noise rang out from behind. Su Yan immediately transformed into a rat and turned around. The next second, her face went pale. A giant black panther was slowly stepping out of the bushes. Its eyes locked tightly onto her. Looking at that massive body and terrifying aura, Su Yan tensed up instantly. This black panther. What did it want? Before she could react, the panther stepped forward and directly grabbed her in its mouth. In that moment, Su Yan was almost scared to death. She was terrified the panther would accidentally use a bit more force, and she'd be bitten to death instantly. She frantically struggled while continuously calling the system for help. Su Yan immediately requested to use instant teleportation again. But the system quickly gave an answer. That made her want to faint. The host and fetus are not currently in life-threatening danger. Conditions not met to activate instant teleportation. Hearing this, Su-Yan panicked even more. In her eyes, she was being carried off by a black panther-like prey. Yet the system deemed it no danger. She even suspected the system was malfunctioning. But a surprise happened. The black panther didn't attack her. It gently put her down on a rock by the river, then turned and jumped into the water. Su-Yan watched it in bewilderment. She saw the panther continuously splashing and using its claws to catch fish. It didn't take long before a pile of fresh fish appeared in front of her. Looking at the piled-up loot, Su-Yan couldn't help but be amazed. Then, the panther even used its paw to push the fish towards her. Now Su-Yan slowly understood. The black panther didn't want to eat her. Rather, it was fetching food for her. Even so, she didn't completely drop her guard. But what surprised her was that after delivering the fish, the black panther lay down not far away, showing absolutely no intention of harming her. Seeing this, Su-Yan felt a bit more at ease. The hunger lasting for days finally overcame her wariness, and she began to eat the fish. The first bite of fish entering her mouth made Su-Yan so touched she wanted to cry. Since transmigrating to the beast continent, most of the time she could only eat fruits or makeshift things found in the forest. Now, she finally got to eat fresh meat. In her mind, she even started imagining that if there were spices and fire to grill the fish, the taste would definitely be even better. Just then, the black panther suddenly approached. Su-Yan startled and went on high alert. But instead of attacking, the panther opened its mouth and spoke. It looked at her belly and calmly remarked, "Such a big belly, yet carrying only one?" Su-Yan instinctively replied a few words. But halfway through, she froze. Wait. Did this panther just speak? Realizing this, her eyes went wide. A guess quickly formed in Su-Yan's mind. This wasn't a magic beast, but a male beastman from the Black Panther tribe. But what confused her was that the Black Panther tribe resided in the eastern continent, and this was the Western Territory. How did he cross the beast forest to get here? While Su-Yan was still thinking, the Black Panther continued asking, "You're about to give birth, right?" That question made her instantly wary, her hands unconsciously hugging her belly. In this world, children are extremely important. She even suspected the male beastman in front of her was targeting the baby in her womb. But the Black Panther continued, "This baby probably isn't from the rat tribe. So do you plan to raise it?" Hearing that, Su-Yan immediately affirmed without hesitation. Of course she would raise the baby. Its father was already dead. If even she didn't take care of it, who else would? Hearing this, the Black Panther narrowed his eyes. Its father is dead? Su-Yan nodded firmly. In her mind, the male beastman from that day was clearly mortally wounded. The chance of survival was practically zero. However, the Black Panther continued to press. What if he isn't dead? Su-Yan immediately denied it, believing she had seen him breathing his last with her own eyes. Now, the Black Panther began to explain meaningfully. He said sometimes what the eyes see might not be the truth. Then he mentioned the beastman's rules. If a female has many partners, the child born will ultimately be taken back to its biological father. Not only that, he also knew that Su-Yan was from the rat tribe and almost got engaged. Hearing this, Su-Yan immediately felt something was wrong. These matters were definitely not something an outsider would know. A terrifying thought suddenly flashed in her mind. The male beastman in front of her seemed to know too much about her, and the one who knew those things clearly could probably only be the male beastman, who had mated with her that day. The more she thought about it, the more likely this seemed. Su Yan instantly stared at the Black Panther and stammered, asking, "You? Who are you?" But before she could hear an answer, her belly suddenly cramped terribly. A severe pain spread throughout her body. Su Yan staggered back and leaned against a tree trunk. Sweat immediately poured down her forehead. The experience from this body made her instantly realize what was happening. The baby was about to be born. Seeing her pained expression, the Black Panther also became tense. Su Yan tried to breathe and pleaded, "Can you help me find a shaman? I'm going into labor." As soon as she finished speaking, the Black Panther stepped forward. Then, to Su Yan's astonishment, it lowered its head, grabbed her collar in its mouth, and quickly dashed away. Obviously, this mysterious male beastman was taking her somewhere to give birth, and his true identity was about to be revealed. The Black Panther held Su Yan by the scruff and sprinted forward. At this point, her face was pale, and her body could barely maintain the beast form anymore. Just then, the system suddenly notified. Host requested to immediately return to human form to give birth, and resistance is not allowed. Su Yan panicked and scolded the system. It wasn't that she didn't want to give birth, but in the middle of this wild forest, where would she find someone to deliver the baby? The system quickly replied that the host could activate the auto-birth mode, needing absolutely no assistance. This information stunned Su Yan. She didn't expect the system to have such a function. With no other choice, she immediately yelled for the Black Panther to stop and quickly find a safe place, because she was giving birth. The Black Panther immediately took her to a clearing by the river and gently put her down. Just as Su Yan was about to run, the Black Panther's body suddenly flashed with purple lightning. It raised its head and roared. Right after, a giant lightning bolt crashed down from the sky, causing flocks of birds to scatter in panic. Looking at the large crater just formed by the lightning strike, Su Yan was utterly dumbfounded. This lightning manipulation talent was truly too terrifying. Right after that, the Black Panther even fetched grass to line the crater. Su Yan blankly realized that this nest was prepared for her. The Black Panther calmly told her to make do with it, since she was about to turn back into a human. Su Yan blushed and told him to turn around. The Black Panther immediately agreed and obediently turned away. A flash of light appeared. Su Yan transformed into her human form. She tremblingly gripped the grass beneath her as the labor pains grew increasingly intense. Tears kept falling. She felt like she couldn't take it anymore. Finally, Su Yan was in so much pain she screamed out. The scream startled the Black Panther, making him turn around. Seeing his eyes full of worry, Su Yan was momentarily stunned. Could it be that this panther is truly worried about me? Too embarrassed, she hastily told him to stop looking. The Black Panther softly replied okay, then turned around to continue standing guard. Just then, the system notified that the baby beast would be born in 10 minutes. Outside the forest, a pack of vicious beasts smelled blood and followed the trail to come over. But upon sensing the Black Panther's aura, the whole pack panicked, realizing it was a Black Panther beastman from the east. Unfortunately, they were blocked and attacked by the Black Panther before they could flee. Hearing the commotion outside, Su Yan worriedly wondered what was happening. However, the severe pain in her abdomen suddenly struck again. Her body trembled continuously, cold sweat pouring out. It's done, the baby is coming. The cry of the newborn beast quickly attracted the Black Panther's attention. He immediately turned and rushed towards Su Yan. But when he arrived, all he saw was Su Yan, having given birth, lying motionless on the grass. That scene made the Black Panther clench his jaw. A terrifying pressure suddenly exploded in the middle of the forest, scaring countless birds and beasts into a panicked flee. 3 days later, under the sunlight shining through the canopy, Su Yan finally woke up. Right then, the system immediately announced that she had given birth to her first child. A golden-eyed male from the Black Panther tribe, possessing a mysterious tear lightning talent. The reward received was 1,000 points, along with a childbirth gift pack. Without hesitating, Su Yan immediately exchanged 500 points for 500 days of lifespan. After deducting another 50 points for using the instant teleportation skill, she still had 450 points left. Next, she spent 200 points to open the system shop, and used 1 point to exchange for a recovery pill to restore her stamina. As expected, just after swallowing the pill, the pain and exhaustion quickly disappeared. Upon recovering, the first thing Su Yan did was look for her child. However, looking all around, she couldn't see the baby anywhere. Even the Black Panther had disappeared. It was only now that she shockingly realized the child she gave birth to was actually the Black Panther's child. Recalling what he had done for her, Su Yan suddenly understood why he always took care of her, but had never transformed into human form. Thinking about how the system only needed her to give birth to accumulate points, while the Black Panther quietly took the baby to raise in her heart, Su Yan couldn't help but feel a sense of loss. She didn't even have time to look at her firstborn child's face. After that, Su Yan returned to the rat tribe. The desolate scene after the magic beast attack made her sigh. Returning to Aole's place, she started thinking about how nice it would be if there were clothes that could automatically adjust to beast and human forms. The system immediately recommended the glazed cyan feather dress. But seeing the 300-point price tag, Su Yan could only sigh helplessly. It seemed if she wanted to buy it, she had to have another child. She couldn't help but feel regret. If only before leaving, she could have seen her firstborn once. Suddenly, Su Yan remembered the extra 1,000 points. The system also gave her a maternity gift pack. Opening it, she received maternity dresses, refined salt, toilet paper, milk powder, baby bottles, and a diaper bag. Looking at the items on the screen, Su Yan sighed in awe. Truly a perfect parenting pack. Not only that, the system also gave her a level 6 fire cultivation manual and a guide. Curious about talent levels, Su Yan asked the system. She learned talents are divided into levels, from low to high. Level 6 is only the second from the bottom. The 4 common elements are water, fire, wood, and earth. Fire is the rarest attribute. After changing into new clothes, Su Yan asked if every birth gives such a big gift pack. The system replied that the child's talent determines the reward. The higher, the better. This immediately made her think of finding males with stronger talents. However, the system coldly replied she had to figure that out herself. While checking the store, Su Yan found an item called marrow pill. The system explained this pill could randomly boost the fetus's talent, but only 1 pill per pregnancy. Just then, Su Yan heard a noise outside. Turning around, she saw Xiao Luo had tracked her scent. Upon reuniting, Xiao Luo hurriedly reported that everyone had moved to the rabbit tribe for safety, as magic beasts were still around. They immediately set off. Resting at night, Su Yan asked about the gold-eyed Black Panther. Tilak Chobit. They are one of the top 10 fierce beast tribes in the eastern region. Each beastman in the tribe could overpower all beastmen in the western region. Hearing this, Su Yan guessed the eastern beastman's talents were far superior to the west. Xiao Luo completely agreed. Su Yan secretly decided to visit the eastern region someday. Mentioning Lin Lang, Xiao Luo said although he's strong, his talent is only royal level. Moreover, rat beastmen mostly have earth talent. Su Yan suddenly summoned fire in her hand, leaving Xiao Luo speechless in shock. This was his first time seeing a rat female with elemental talent, especially the extremely rare fire element. Xiao Luo also shared that the East has the famous fire phoenix tribe, known for their rebirth through fire. But lacking females, they are facing extinction. Hearing this, Su Yan immediately showed interest. Xiao Luo just shook his head, thinking a rat female like her would hardly have the chance to meet such powerful figures. But right after, Xiao Luo slowly broke some bad news to Su Yan. During her disappearance, a Shirley drugged Lin Lang with an aphrodisiac and was now pregnant. This meant Lin Lang was forced to marry a Shirley. Su Yan heard the news about Lin Lang, but wasn't angry at all. Picking up a piece of meat to eat, Kovu abandoned Noi rang. Their relationship was mutual. There was no right or wrong. Besides, she had already had a child with the Black Panther. It was a pity he didn't return as promised. So, she considered their fate to be over. Her open-mindedness made Xiao Luo admire her, because this was his first time meeting a female who looked at things so rationally. A few days later, they arrived at the rabbit tribe. Seeing how large and bustling it was compared to the rat tribe, Su Yan marveled at it, and Xiao Luo admitted this place was much more developed. Just then, Aola was setting up his stall selling dried meat and goat milk. He suddenly saw Xiao Luo return. Before he could scold his son for leaving without permission, Su Yan jumped down from Xiao Luo's back and called out, "Father." Seeing his daughter return safely, Aola immediately hugged them both. He was filled with joy and relief. After handing Su Yan some goat milk, a female named Jia Lian came to buy dried meat. Seeing Su Yan alive, she was quite shocked and curiously asked about Lin Lang. Su Yan calmly replied that his matters no longer concerned her. Seeing Jia Lian's pitiful situation, Aola generously gave her all the dried meat for free. After Jia Lian left, Aola explained that her parents died during the magic beast attack. Currently, she had to live in the female cave to raise her two younger brothers. Hearing this, Su Yan understood why Jia Lian wore a ring marked with the female cave symbol. Looking at his daughter, Aola gently patted her head. He said as long as Su Yan was safe, it was okay even if she never mated. He would still support her. After the recent tragedy, all he cherished was his children being alive. Xiao Luo also spoke up, affirming he would take care of his sister too. However, Su Yan confidently said she could hunt for herself. Remembering her fire talent, Xiao Luo nodded in agreement, praising that her talent was enough to amaze everyone. Just as Aola was about to close the stall early to cook a reunion dinner, a tall male rabbit beast man named Zulu suddenly walked over. Knowing that Aole's son and daughter had returned safely, he immediately gifted Aola a deer to celebrate. Aola happily accepted and invited Zulu for dinner to share the family's joy. Then, Zulu noticed Su Yan and surprisingly asked Aola, "You still have a daughter?" Seeing her petite figure, he laughed and said she was like a little mouse. Aola quickly patted Su Yan's head, declaring his daughter wouldn't marry anyone. Hearing this, Zulu pointed at himself and joked, "Then just consider her my niece." Xiao Luo immediately got annoyed, reminding him their ages were almost the same. So don't try to act superior. The two bickered, livening up the atmosphere. Meanwhile, Su Yan quietly observed Zulu, looking at his tall build and strong aura. She secretly evaluated him as a suitable target. After agreeing to come for dinner, Zulu sold a goat to Aola for 1,000 red coins less, as a greeting gift for Su Yan. But before leaving, he smiled and said she would definitely grow up into a very beautiful female. After Zulu walked away, Su Yan immediately asked Xiao Luo about his talent. He explained, Zulu has royal-level water talent. He is the best warrior of the rabbit tribe, and highly valued by the tribe chief. Many females wanted to mate with him, including Lana. Hearing this, Su Yan asked the system how royal level was rated. The system replied it was quite good, and could be enhanced using the marrow pill. Thinking about needing points, Su Yan immediately decided for now to treat Zulu as her most suitable target. That evening, Su Yan took out the dress from the gift pack and showed it to Aola. Seeing the soft fabric, he instantly recognized it as goods only found in the eastern region. When asked where she got it, Su Yan quickly lied that it was a gift from a friend named Xiao Mei. Aola was still uneasy, asking if she had paid crystal coins for it. To Nanchi Koi Dap, she exchanged it with her labor, secretly thinking having a child should count as physical labor. Right after, she showed the dress to Xiao Luo. He kept praising its beauty, but also reminded her that such clothes couldn't easily be bought even with money. This made Su Yan even more curious about the glazed cyan feather dress in the system store. Just then, Aola suddenly asked directly if she liked Zulu. Su Yan just shook her head, saying she wasn't sure yet, because her current goal was just to find a male with good talent, to have children and earn points. Then, Su Yan changed the topic to cooking and went inside. Later, a familiar voice called out from outside the cave. Zulu arrived on time at the entrance, smiling as he greeted Aola. Right behind him was Lin Lang. Zulu chuckled, explaining to everyone that he and Lin Lang were close friends who often hunted together. They happened to run into each other on the way, so he invited Lin Lang along for dinner. Meanwhile, Su Yan was busy cooking, not forgetting to remind herself, to conquer a man's heart, one must first conquer his stomach. The smell of roasted meat quickly spread through the cave, making Xiao Luo sniff continuously. Seeing Su Yan sprinkle seasoning on the meat, he curiously asked if it was salt. Getting an affirmative answer, Xiao Luo immediately tasted it and was amazed, because it was much tastier than usual. Su Yan then suggested they should add salt to their dried meat from now on. But Xiao Luo could only smile bitterly, as salt was incredibly precious in the beastman world. Few could afford it. When Su Yan brought out a whole jar of refined salt, he was instantly stunned. In her heart, she also secretly realized it seemed the items the system gave were far more valuable than she thought. Then, Su Yan asked Xiao Luo to take the salt jar outside, while she took the time to prepare. She used 20 points to buy a cosmetics set from the system store, carefully applied makeup, braided her hair, and put on the new white dress. Outside, Zulu and Lin Lang were still talking when Su Yan walked out carrying wine. The moment they saw her in the white dress, both stood frozen. Even Zulu couldn't help but be mesmerized. He didn't expect the little mouse could be so beautiful. Lin Lang was both happy and astonished. He immediately stepped forward and asked if she was really alive. Hearing this, Su Yan confusingly asked back why everyone asked that upon seeing her. Aola then explained that Shirley insisted she had seen with her own eyes Su Yan being eaten by a gray wolf magic beast. Therefore, the whole tribe believed she was dead. Su Yan just calmly smiled, asserting it was clearly a Shirley who lied. Seeing her standing healthy right in front of him, Lin Lang finally breathed a sigh of relief. But soon after, his eyes darkened. Because he was now married to a Shirley, he no longer had the right to pursue Su Yan. Noticing the somewhat strange atmosphere, Zulu curiously asked about their relationship. Su Yan didn't hide it either, calmly recounting that during her coming-of-age ceremony, Lin Lang had proposed to her. But on that exact day, magic beasts attacked the tribe, and she got lost in the deep beast forest. It took her over half a month to find her way back. Hearing this, Lin Lang was immediately stunned. It turned out all this time, Su Yan had always been where they parted, waiting for him to return. Thinking about how he had believed a Shirley, and never went back to search, a wave of deep regret surged in his heart, along with immense self-blame. After knowing the truth, Lin Lang sank into self-blame. He continuously slapped his own face, cursing himself for deserving it since he believed a Shirley. Seeing this, Su Yan quietly handed back the bag of crystal coins he had given her as a betrothal gift. Lin Lang lowered his head and refused, saying if those crystal coins could somewhat make up for his mistakes, he would be willing. However, Su Yan just smiled, telling him he did nothing wrong. She even sincerely congratulated him on his upcoming child, promising to prepare a big gift when the baby was born. The more he heard, the more heartbroken he felt. He could only make an excuse to leave, and quietly departed in remorse. Seeing Lin Lang leave, Zulu also stood up to take his leave. He generously waved the remaining 4,000 red coins, only taking a deer leg as payment. But before leaving, he smiled and bid Su Yan goodbye, leaving Xiao Luo helpless as he saw him out. Afterward, Su Yan asked Aola to return the bag of crystal coins to Lin Lang. Aola looked at his daughter and smiled, saying Zulu clearly had feelings for her. Otherwise, he wouldn't have lowered himself to call him uncle. But Su Yan felt insecure because her reproductive ability was still unconfirmed. Aola just rubbed her shoulder, affirming that as long as he lived, he would support her forever. Just then, Xiao Luo returned and was immediately dragged by the father and daughter into a discussion about finding him a wife. His face turned bright red, continuously waving his hand saying his talent was too ordinary. Probably no female would want to marry him. Hearing this, Su Yan brought out a jar of refined salt. Aola was stunned at first sight, because this jar of salt alone was enough for a betrothal gift to marry a highly fertile female of the rabbit tribe. The father and daughter immediately, excitedly planned to find a wife for Xiao Luo, making him want to find a hole to hide in. The next day, despite Aola's objections, Su Yan still followed Xiao Luo and Zulu into the Greenwood Plains to hunt. Zulu, while walking, reassured her that there were far fewer magic beasts here than in the deep beast forest. Seeing he was worried she'd be scared, Su Yan immediately drew her bow. With a swift swish, the arrow accurately hit a running wild pheasant. Both Zulu and Xiao Luo were astonished by her archery skills. Seeing Su Yan's confident demeanor, Zulu admired her even more, promising to hunt a huge wild boar in exchange for a meal cooked by her. After Zulu went hunting, Su Yan and Xiao Luo started digging up yams. Suddenly, the yams flew out of the ground on their own, startling both of them. Turning around, they saw Lin Lang secretly using his earth ability to help him harvest. Su Yan happily ran over to thank him, praising him for being awesome. Lin Lang proactively asked if there was anything else to dig. Knowing they only needed to carry the yams back, he immediately took over all the work, even taking Su Yan's share of the load. Seeing this, Xiao Luo stayed behind to wait for Zulu, letting the two go back first. On the way back, Su Yan offered Lin Lang fruit she had picked, but he just blushed and refused. taking the chance. She asked about his injuries from the magic beast fight. Lin Lang sadly replied that his biggest lingering effect was losing her. That answer left Su Yan somewhat stunned. Upon arriving home, Su Yan was about to make yam cakes when a beastman ran over panicking to report a Shirley was about to give birth. Hearing the news, Lin Lang immediately rushed to head back. Before he left, Su Yan gave him some refined salt as thanks for helping carry the yams. Lin Lang absolutely refused, only promising to come back another day to taste her chicken soup. Finally, under Aola's urging, he reluctantly left. After Lin Lang was out of sight, Aola relievedly asked his daughter if she really had no feelings for him anymore. Su Yan calmly explained they were just tribesmen helping each other. Her current target was Zulu. However, Aola revealed the rabbit chief intended to marry Zulu to the fox tribe chief's daughter. Even so, he still respected his daughter's decision. If she wanted to live peacefully, he would support her forever. And if she wanted to continue wandering, he only wished for her safety. Those words deeply moved Su Yan. Just then, a loud noise came from outside. The two ran out to see Zulu. And Xiao Luo had returned with a giant wild boar. Zulu laughed and asked if he could eat chicken tonight. Without replying, Su Yan immediately ran inside and brought out a plate of mashed yams sprinkled with seasoning she just found in the forest. Zulu just took one bite, and his face instantly turned red. His whole body burned, and he dropped his bowl on the ground. Aola bent down to sniff the food. Then, together with Zulu, he asked Su Yan in unison if she had put passion fruit in the dish. Only then did Su Yan, panicked, realize what she thought was pepper was actually an aphrodisiac fruit. She nervously asked what to do. Zulu's face was flushed. He hugged Su Yan and hoarsely said there was only one way. She had to act as his antidote. Before Su Yan could react, he picked her straight up, making her cry out in panic. After consuming the passion fruit, Zulu's whole body was burning hot, and he just threw Su Yan over his shoulder, making her yelp in surprise. Hey, before leaving, he even turned to Aola and Xiao Luo, saying the wild boar could be considered a meeting gift. He heard Lin Lang once gave 16 crystal coins as a dowry, so he would give 60 crystal coins. Aola and his son were both stunned hearing this. This meeting gift was truly too generous. So without saying a word, both happily carried the giant wild boar into the house. On Su Yan's end, she kept struggling, telling Zulu to put her down. But she helplessly realized his strength was too great. She couldn't break free at all. Su Yan then spoke frankly first. She wouldn't marry him exclusively. In the future, there might be other beast husbands. It absolutely wouldn't be just Zulu alone. Unexpectedly, he gently laid her on the bed and calmly replied that wasn't a problem. Su Yan surprisingly asked if he really didn't mind. Zulu just hugged her and tenderly said, as long as she liked it. After that, Su Yan stopped resisting. Zulu gently helped her undress. In her heart, she thought her second time came so quickly. The last time, things happened so fast she barely remembered anything. But this time, she wanted to feel it slowly. Zulu considerately kissed her feet. His firm body made Su Yan's heart flutter. His seductive panting made her heart race even more. Zulu slowly bent down to kiss Su Yan's small lips. Their hands gradually intertwined, feeling the warmth passing through their fingertips. Su Yan wrapped her arms around his head. In the space left only for the two of them, they completely merged as one. Before long, it was morning. After an exhausting night, Zulu and Su Yan slept soundly embracing each other. Zulu woke up first, gently kissed Su Yan's cheek, carefully covered her with the blanket, and then left. Not forgetting to turn back and smile, saying, "Little female, wait for me." Right after he left, the system sound woke Suyen up. The system announced that using the marrow pill this time wouldn't cost points, as it could directly increase the fetus's talent. It demanded she use it immediately. Even though her whole body felt like jelly, Suyen still tried to reach out to accept it and swallowed the marrow pill. She couldn't help but sigh that Zulu's stamina was way too abundant. But right after swallowing, her stomach growled loudly. Suyen held her stomach, muttering, "So hungry. Looks like I'm really pregnant." Going outside, Suyen immediately demanded Xiao Luo bring raw meat. Xiao Luo was shocked, asking why she, who never ate raw meat before, changed so much today. In her heart, Suyen could only lament that it wasn't her who wanted to eat, but her stomach did. While wolfing down the meat, she calmly said there was a very high chance she was pregnant. Hearing this, Aola, who was carrying a plate of fruits inside, was so stunned he dropped it to the ground. Xiao Luo continuously shook his head. Who could know they were pregnant after just one day? However, looking at Suyan's unusual eating habits, Aola started to believe it. He explained rat females only have a 1-month pregnancy, so they know if they're pregnant within 10 days at most. Besides, the wild boar Zulu brought was enough to nourish her. Xiao Luo was still half skeptical. After eating, Suyen held her belly, saying she didn't want dried meat anymore. She only wanted fresh meat, preferably deer meat. Right then, Zulu walked in and immediately answered, "Then just eat fresh meat. I can afford to feed my female." Seeing Zulu carrying all sorts of things, Suyen curiously asked what he was planning. He smiled brightly, pointed at himself, and declared that starting today, he would be a live-in son-in-law at Melit's house. The father and children were completely shocked. Would the tribe chief agree to this? Zulu immediately recalled the conversation with his father. Knowing his son wanted to marry into Melit's house, the rabbit tribe chief instantly got furious because Suyen was confirmed to have no reproductive ability. Zulu defiantly asked how he knew. The chief said the rat tribe shaman confirmed it. After checking the female stone, Zulu's mother cried sadly. However, Zulu firmly stated that even if Suyen couldn't have children, he still wanted to be by her side. The tribe chief strictly opposed, forcing him to marry a fox tribe female with superior reproductive ability. In response, Zulu just calmly announced it was too late. He and Melit's daughter had already become mates. They had even mated. Hearing this, the old chief was speechless with anger. Back to the present. Suyen ate and said, if he was living here, Zulu just needed to hunt diligently, because she had a feeling she would eat a lot this month. Zulu blankly asked again. Suyen winked, announcing she might be pregnant. And it was a very gluttonous baby. Zulu immediately froze. He couldn't believe Suyen got pregnant after just one time. Everyone clearly said she had no reproductive ability. If it was really like this, then her reproductive ability was far too terrifying, wasn't it? Suyen continued holding her belly, confirming she just ate a lot and only liked fresh meat. Hearing this, Zulu immediately turned around to go hunting right away. But he was stopped by Suyen, saying tomorrow morning with Xiao Luo was fine. Zulu happily nodded, saying he wanted to be by her side more. Later, Zulu and Xiao Luo took turns feeding Suyen. Seeing the bags he brought, she asked what was inside. Zulu said it was star coins, clothes, and tools. Xiao Luo immediately became enthusiastic, bringing everything into Suyan's cave. He smiled and said they were all family now. Suyen also happily agreed. She thought since they had a child, living together made a lot of sense. Hearing this, Zulu was extremely moved. He became even more certain that Suyen truly needed him. While eating, Suyen licked her lips, saying she was thirsty. Just that small gesture made Zulu Recall their passionate night together. His face instantly turned red, and he hurried to get water. Taking that chance, Su Yan asked the system why she was eating so much. The system explained the golden marrow pill was taking effect. To increase the fetus's talent, a massive amount of energy was needed. It was best to eat many natural treasures. Then, the system gave her the Encyclopedia of Natural Treasures. Su Yan opened it to search, and immediately noticed a spirit fruit named 7 Star Red with star-shaped purple leaves and flat spherical red fruits. Just then, Zulu returned. He suddenly lifted Su Yan's face and kissed her deeply. He directly fed her water mouth to mouth. Then he asked if she was still thirsty. Su Yan blushed, thinking to herself that she didn't expect this beast husband who offered himself to be such a tease. Then she asked him if, in the forest, he had seen a plant with star-shaped purple leaves and flat spherical red fruits. Zulu immediately remembered. He asked if she wanted it. When Su Yan nodded, he didn't hesitate, saying he'd go pick it right away. Just then, Xiao Luo ran in, announcing someone came. It was Lin Lang. Su Yan thought Amelie had given birth. But Xiao Luo was sure that wasn't it. Because if the rat clan had a new member, the whole tribe would have known. Outside, suddenly, Lin Lang's loud shout echoed, calling Zulu out. Su Yan asked what happened, and Zulu just smiled, saying his brain was hit by a pig. He would go check and pick the fruits for her along the way. Before leaving, he affectionately pinched Su Yan's cheek. After Zulu went out, Xiao Luo explained in a low voice. Lin Lang was angry because Zulu became his brother-in-law. Su Yan could only sigh. Going outside, Zulu crossed his arms confidently, saying Lin Lang couldn't beat him. Moreover, the wound left by the magic beast caused his strength to drop by at least half a level. But Lin Lang was still determined to fight. He used his earth element divine power, causing the ground under Zulu's feet to continuously erupt with sharp stone pillars. Zulu lightly jumped onto the treetops, dodging them all. Standing up high, Zulu started using his green divine power. The tree branches instantly rushed down to attack Lin Lang. He asked Zulu in shock if he only had yellow ring talent just like him. Why did he also possess the wood element? Zulu proudly replied that his wood element talent was even stronger than his water element. It had almost reached the profound rank. So Lin Lang shouldn't waste his energy. After saying that, he said he still had to find fruits for Yen Yen. When he returned, they'd drink together and then part ways. Watching Zulu's silhouette fade away, Lin Lang lowered his head sadly. He alone originally couldn't win against a dual water-wood element opponent, let alone when he was injured. What hurt him more was that Zulu had obtained Su Yan, while it was obvious that he knew her first. A little while later, Zulu found the exact 7-star red plant Su Yan mentioned. However, right next to it appeared a giant 2-headed wolf, a wind element magic beast, yellow rank talent. Zulu immediately drew his knife, warning it. He only needed the 7-star red plant behind it. If it yielded, he'd spare its life. If not, he wouldn't mind taking another beast core. The 2-headed wolf immediately roared and charged. Bitten twice. Blood splattered, but Zulu only smiled. Immediately, his body turned into a stream of water, disappearing from the opponent's claws. In a blink, he appeared on a treetop, smiling mockingly, asking if this water element stealth skill was interesting. The wolf went mad, enlarged its body, and continuously launched sonic wave attacks. Zulu easily dispersed them all. Then he channeled frost, freezing the entire tree he was standing on. He jumped down, uprooted the giant tree, and threw it straight at the opponent. As the wolf smashed the tree trunk, Zulu rushed in with his ice blade at extreme speed, stabbing it right in the belly. The 2-headed wolf spat blood, its whole body trembling, and let out a tragic roar that echoed through the forest. The beastmen hunting nearby were all shocked, recognizing it as the roar of the 2-headed wolf. Lin Lang also heard it, shaken to the core because he knew Zulu had truly killed that yellow rank magic beast. In such a short time. Something that even if he wasn't injured, he might not be able to do. In the cave, Su Yan heard the noise and thought Zulu had returned. But the person who walked in was Aola bringing goat milk, specially bought for her. Watching his daughter drink with relish, he felt very happy. After drinking, Su Yan asked if Zulu was back yet. Aola just replied he had returned, even bringing a whole 7-star red plant. Right then, Zulu walked in carrying the spirit plant. Seeing him covered in blood, Su Yan panicked and asked if he was hurt. Zulu just wiped his chest and smiled to reassure her, saying it was all the two-headed wolf's blood. He gave her the 7-star red plant, saying this could be used for medicine or refined into 7-star pills. He asked how she wanted to use it. Before he could finish, Su Yan rushed over and hugged Zulu tightly. The two hugged and kissed so passionately that Aola could only quietly and helplessly walk out. Su Yan gently said he had worked hard. Zulu hugged her, replying that even if she wasn't pregnant, he would still take care of her for life. Whatever she wanted to eat, he would find it for her. Saying that, Zulu took out a beast core of the two-headed wolf, shaped like a small dog, and gave it to Su Yan to play with. She was amazed because only yellow rank magic beasts and above had a chance to drop a beast-shaped core like this. This meant Zulu truly killed a yellow rank magic beast. Zulu just hugged her, smiling and saying it was just dealt with in passing, to prevent it from harming others. Su Yan happily praised him. The father of my child is indeed amazing. Hearing that, Zulu hugged her even tighter, gently calling out, Yen Yen. The next day, after a tiring night, Su Yan stretched and stepped outside. Xiao Luo reminded her she hadn't eaten breakfast, but Su Yan smiled, saying she wasn't hungry at all. She explained she ate the 7-star red fruit Zulu brought back last night. After eating, that abnormal feeling of hunger and thirst also disappeared. Seeing his sister going out, Xiao Luo offered to accompany her, but she declined, saying she'd take a walk to the stalls and wait for Zulu there. Just then, Aola ran back breathlessly from the rabbit tribe. He announced the chief had agreed to let Zulu marry into the family, but with the condition that if Su Yan couldn't bear children in the future, they would let Lana become Zulu's concubine. 1 male with 2 females. Hearing this, Su Yan immediately got angry, coldly replying that they must be dreaming. Arriving at the rabbit tribe market, Su Yan immediately became the center of attention. The exquisite animal skin shoes on her feet made everyone gasp in admiration. Everyone discussed that the Milu family was truly remarkable. The son could make beautiful shoes, while the daughter subdued the strongest male of the rabbit tribe. In the future, they might become a great family. Su Yan looked at the shoes, feeling very proud. She remembered before, she only drew the design, and Xiao Luo meticulously crafted them. At that time, she even advised her brother to quit hunting and focus on making animal skin shoes to earn money. Even Aola was surprised and agreed that for now, they should produce some common styles to test sell at the market. Walking a bit further, Su Yan saw Zulu's stall was packed with people. Zulu happily ran over to report that the animal skin shoes made by Xiao Luo were being eagerly ordered by everyone according to their sizes. Su Yan giggled, knowing her brother would be swamped with work. Zulu held her hand, asking if she was hungry, then planned to take her to the tavern of Old Wufu to try a new fruit wine. Feeling his warm hand, Su Yan couldn't help but blush. Zulu was enchanted by her small, soft hands. Su Yan reminded him she was pregnant, so she couldn't drink wine. In his heart, Zulu was still half believing, half doubting since her stomach was flat. He thought only females with super high fertility could get pregnant on the first try. But he couldn't bear to contradict her, only gently indulging her. Finally, they agreed to go to the tavern. She would eat fruits, and he would drink. Along the way, everyone who saw them praised them as a perfect match. But right then, Su Yan discovered through the system screen that Lana was secretly following her. This girl gritted her teeth in jealousy, remembering that after finding out Zulu killed the two-headed wolf alone. She became even more determined to snatch him. Earlier, Lana even borrowed from Amelie an aphrodisiac with the intention of forcing things to happen. To force Zulu to marry her. In Lana's eyes, Amelie having super high fertility was acceptable, but Su Yan was just a low-class female who couldn't bear children. She would be abandoned sooner or later, completely unworthy of standing beside Zulu. Su Yan asked Zulu if he knew Lana. He just calmly replied he'd met her a few times. When she mentioned Lana had high fertility, Zulu hugged her, asserting that it had nothing to do with him. If he only wanted children, a female with super high fertility wouldn't be hard to find. But he loved Su Yan, not for the sake of children. Su Yan, moved, said most males only valued reproductive ability. But he was different. Zulu lightly tapped her nose, saying he didn't care what others thought. And he had never considered having children as the most important thing. Su Yan was still sad, because males without children were often discriminated against by the tribe. Just like Xiao Luo, who was always excluded from hunting parties. Hearing that, Zulu immediately shouted, "Who dares?" She laughed and asked if they had children in the future, could he raise them? In his heart, Zulu worried Su Yan was too thin. If she really got pregnant, giving birth would be very dangerous. So he gently said he didn't need children. And she didn't have to force herself to bear them. Su Yan pouted, insisting she was truly pregnant. And her father said females just needed to look pretty, while males would raise the kids. Zulu hugged her from behind, gently replying that if the one giving birth wasn't her, he'd rather have no descendants. Then he softly kissed her hair, making Su Yan feel incredibly happy. The two walked into old Wufu's tavern. Zulu ordered a bowl of wine and a plate of fruits, while Su Yan politely greeted the owner. Her polite attitude and stunning beauty made old Wufu and everyone in the tavern blush. He happily announced that today was his treat. They could eat whatever they wanted. Su Yan thanked him while enjoying the fruits. Finding the Huangyuan fruit very tasty, she planned to buy some to take home. Zulu immediately said tomorrow he would personally go to the forest to pick fresher ones for her, making Su Yan smile radiantly. Right then, a male burst in, breathlessly reporting that Amelie was having a difficult labor. The whole tavern was instantly in an uproar. Everyone was shocked, because even a female with super high fertility could face danger during childbirth. Su Yan hurriedly asked when it started, and finding out it had been about 2 hours, she immediately asked the system if there was a life-saving pill. The system introduced the safe birth pill, costing 50 points. Without hesitation, Su Yan asked where the tribal shaman's house was, then pulled Zulu along. At this moment, the entire rat tribe was kneeling before the beast god temple, praying for Amelie's safe delivery. Outside the luxurious cave, while someone was bringing water, Su Yan ran up to ask to see Amelie. Xiaohua went in to ask, then came out to say Amelie agreed. While waiting, Su Yan immediately spent 50 points to buy the safe birth pill. As soon as she was led inside, Su Yan was stopped by the tribal shaman's loud shout. She hated her, believing that it was the affair of Su Yan and Lin Lang that made Amelie get pregnant in resentment, leading to today's difficult labor. Thankfully, Xiaohua explained this was Amelie's wish, so she temporarily stopped. Just then, a midwife ran out covered in blood, reporting the critical situation. Everyone hurriedly rushed in. In the room, Amelie had transformed back into her rat form, lying weakly in her nest. Only then did Su Yan know that beast. Females all gave birth in their beast forms. Amelie tearfully apologized, because in the past when Lin Lang asked her to find Su Yan, she didn't go, and even lied that Su Yan was eaten by a magic beast. She thought her difficult labor today was retribution. The tribal shaman heard this and cried heartbrokenly. Su Yan gently said the past was in the past. Now Amelie had Lin Lang, and she had Zulu. From now on, both should let go of the past and live well with their mates. Who knows, their children might even grow up together. Such forgiveness deeply moved Amelie. She shed tears of gratitude, then fainted from exhaustion. Without hesitation, Su Yan immediately stuffed the safe birth pill into Amelie's mouth. The shaman panicked, pushing her away to hug her granddaughter. Luckily, Hua caught her, so Su Yan didn't fall hard. She calmly told Hua to prepare a clean blanket to deliver the babies. But the shaman was still angry, thinking she was talking nonsense. Right after, a miracle happened. Amelie successfully gave birth, leaving everyone stunned. Su Yan secretly rejoiced that the safe birth pill really worked. Then along with Hua and the shaman, quickly helped deliver the babies. After everything was over, Amelie recovered her health. The shaman held the baby rats in her arms, happily rubbing her granddaughter's head. Looking at that scene, Su Yan also smiled in relief. Right then, hurried footsteps sounded outside the door. As Su Yan turned her head, she saw Lin Lang panting heavily, rushing frantically into the cave. After rushing into the cave, Lin Lang stood panting at the door. Seeing him, Su Yan thought to herself he must be very worried about Amelie. She smiled and announced Amelie had successfully given birth to 5 baby rats, telling him to go in and see. Lin Lang just quietly nodded and stepped inside. The shaman happily informed him that Amelie gave birth to 1 female and 4 males. All 5 children were healthy. She continuously thanked the beast god for his blessing. Lin Lang looked at his mate, who lay exhausted holding their children, and stayed silent. Su Yan gently pushed him to the bedside, reminding him that Amelie risked her life to bear his children. He must treat her very well from now on. Seeing the couple was about to have their private time, Su Yan smiled and congratulated Amelie, saying she'd go back to prepare a gift and would visit another day. Amelie gratefully shook her head, saying just having Su Yan come here to help her was already enough to be grateful for. There was no need for gifts. Lin Lang also sincerely thanked her, while Su Yan just smiled and replied that it was the right thing to do, then quietly left the cave. On her way out, though slightly regretting the 50 points she just spent, she quickly reassured herself that points could be earned back. But seeing someone in danger and not saving them was something she couldn't do. Thinking about whether in the future her and Zulu's children would take the form of rats or rabbits, Su Yan couldn't help but laugh. Just stepping out the door, she saw Zulu still waiting patiently. She immediately ran over to hug him, making Zulu, who hadn't even turned his head, gently ask if she was tired. Right then, the system sounded. A notification that a hidden merit quest was triggered for helping Amelie have a safe delivery. Su Yan was rewarded with 100 points, expanding the system space and scroll by an extra 10 cubic meters. She also received a large amount of supplies like salt, sugar, cotton blankets, instant noodles, dry rations, soybeans, canned fruits, rice, and clean water. Looking at the massive reward, Su Yan was overjoyed. She understood the system still had hidden quests, especially things related to giving birth and saving lives, could all bring points. Seeing her smiling endlessly, Zulu curiously asked why. Su Yan hugged him, kissed him lightly on the cheek, and just said she was happy Amelie was safe and had 5 babies. Hearing that, Zulu smiled knowingly and leaned in, asking if they should also try harder. Su Yan blushed, thinking he didn't really want kids. He obviously just wanted to do baby-making activities. She then asked the system if, while pregnant, they could still be intimate. The system answered the fetus was protected by the fertility pill. Not only would it not be affected, but it would also be beneficial for childbirth. Hearing this, Su Yan shyly nodded in agreement. Zulu smiled gently, saying he would have to trouble her again tonight. Then, without another word, he directly picked Su Yan up, making her blush in surprise. The next morning, Su Yan woke up feeling sore all over, her limbs aching so much she didn't want to move. Zulu sat nearby, attentively asking if she was hungry. Su Yan rubbed her eyes, asking in surprise how he knew she was hungry. Zulu smiled kindly, explaining that rabbit tribe females, after consuming too much stamina, usually ate this to replenish themselves. As he spoke, he placed a small seed on his palm. Looking closely, Suyan immediately recognized it as a soybean. She wondered how to eat it raw like that. Zulu immediately channeled wood element energy into the bean. Right before her eyes, the bean quickly sprouted, grew, flowered, and bore a full pod of beans in an instant. Finally, he harvested many ripe beans. Right in his hand. That magical sight left Suyan utterly amazed, curiously asking how he did it. Zulu smiled, explaining he possessed both wood and water elements, so he could accelerate plant growth. Suyan immediately cheered in admiration, feeling his dual element talent was too incredible. However, Zulu just humbly shook his head, saying that ability wasn't as rare as her fire element talent. Hearing that, Suyan tried to channel a bit of fire energy in her body, then helplessly smiled bitterly. The talent was rare, but her level was too low. Currently, it was at most only enough to start a fire. Zulu gently comforted her that it didn't matter. As long as he was here, he would take care of her for life. The way Zulu looked at her then was still full of tenderness and infatuation as always. Suyan blushed and lowered her head, feeling both happy and a bit sorrowful. She knew she had no way to belong exclusively to him forever. But the sincere feeling Zulu had for her still made her heart flutter constantly. Right then, Shaluo called in from outside. The rat tribe shaman had personally come to check Suyan's pregnancy. The shaman came in and confirmed the baby in her belly was completely healthy, developing very well, making Zulu both joyful and amazed, finally believing she was truly pregnant. When Shaluo mentioned Suyan was previously diagnosed as unable to reproduce, the shaman explained she might be a special variant, completely different from normal rat tribe females. She promised to personally deliver Suyan's baby when the time came. Aola was grateful and wanted to give a gift, but the shaman declined, then hurried off to report the good news to the chief. After the shaman left, Zulu regretted not believing Suyan was pregnant earlier, gently promising to spend his whole life treating her very well. Suyan blushed, rubbing her belly, saying the baby wanted to eat tender tenderloin. Hearing that, Zulu immediately set off to hunt deer for her, leaving the two parting in a sweet atmosphere. In the forest, a giant red python suddenly transformed into a half-man, half-snake beastman. He turned his head when he saw a figure resembling Zulu behind the bushes. As if sensing something, he revealed an eerie smile, then charged straight at the dark shadow there. At the same time, Suyan, at home, suddenly woke up with a bad premonition. She clutched her uncomfortable belly, calling for her father and Shaluo. When both ran over, they were shocked to see her belly had bulged significantly. After just one night, Suyan anxiously asked if Zulu was back yet, but he still hadn't returned. Ao, La and Shaluo could only comfort her that maybe he was too happy and hunted more prey. A while later, Zulu actually returned with several large deer. The first thing he asked wasn't about his spoils, but Suyan's health. Knowing she was well and had an even better appetite, he just coldly replied that from now on, whatever she wanted to eat, he would hunt it down no matter what. Suyan advised him not to work too hard. They could use their saved star coins to buy food. Zulu stood frozen, looking at her for a long time, his eyes so cold they made her involuntarily shudder. But ultimately, he just smiled and replied he would listen, then helped her to rest. Even so, Suyan still felt that look was exactly like a cold-blooded animal, silently watching its prey. At night, she had a nightmare about being engulfed by a dark aura, then woke up in a cold sweat. Zulu sat nearby, attentively asking how she was. Knowing there were only about 7 days left until birth, he suddenly grabbed her wrist tightly, asking if they could still be intimate right now. Suyan shyly explained her special body. The more intimate they were, the better it was for childbirth, even actively seducing him. But this time, Zulu pulled his hand away, refusing, and said to wait until she gave birth. His kiss was no longer gentle, like before, but carried a hint of cold distance, making Su-Yan start to suspect something was wrong. The next morning, Zulu announced he would join the hunting team to continuously eliminate magic beasts, because they were pouring out of the Azurewood Plains, threatening both the rabbit and rat tribes. He might be gone for a long time, but promised to definitely be there when she gave birth. 5 days later, Amelie came to examine Su-Yan's pregnancy. She mentioned Lin Lang was busy hunting magic beasts, so he came home very late every day. She also subtly hinted that Lana was in charge of logistics for the hunting team, and was often near Zulu. Even if nothing had happened between them yet, Amelie still advised Su-Yan to maintain the prestige of a female master, and set rules for her beast husband. Su-Yan trusted Zulu, so she didn't mind much, only thinking that if necessary, she'd wait for his return to speak clearly. Right now, the most important thing was still the child in her belly. Another 5 days passed, the due date was approaching. While eating salted dried meat with her father, Su-Yan suddenly remembered the system map, so she opened it to check Zulu's location. Indeed, he was on his way back. But what sent shivers down her spine was the smile on his face, as stiff as a fake mask. Just then, she felt severe abdominal cramps, a sign of impending labor. Su-Yan hurriedly asked Aola to call a Shirley for help, then tried to get back to bed. Right when Aola told Xiaoluo to go get someone, Zulu also appeared at the door. Seeing Su-Yan covered in sweat from the pain, he immediately rushed over, his eyes filled with shock. Zulu brought the 7-star red fruits to the bed, softly saying this was what he just found while hunting, hoping it would help Su-Yan during childbirth. Trembling in pain, she just shook her head, saying she didn't need it yet. Seeing her in so much pain, Zulu asked with concern, but Su-Yan irritably snapped back. Try giving birth yourself. When she was thirsty, he instantly brought water, but merely stood there watching, prompting Su-Yan to remind him before he helped her up for a sip. Afterwards, he left, using the excuse of checking the situation outside. Looking at his back, Su-Yan felt Zulu becoming more and more unfamiliar, as if he had turned into a completely different person. She asked the system how long until she gave birth, and was told she had to wait about 6 more hours. Right after, the system also reminded her that after giving birth, she could continue getting pregnant with her beast husband, making Su-Yan almost go crazy, because she was never warned about this before. The more she thought, the more she felt Zulu's current attitude was completely different from the gentle, caring man he was before. Just then, a Shirley hurriedly rushed over to help. Seeing Zulu calmly say it would be a while before the birth, she couldn't help but be surprised. A Shirley had also heard many rumors about Lana always being around Zulu, so she advised him not to let Su-Yan down, because she was risking her life to bear his children. Zulu gave a perfunctory reply and invited a Shirley inside, while he quietly walked away. Entering the delivery room, a Shirley was shocked to see Su-Yan still in human form. Su-Yan explained she couldn't turn into a mouse because her body was too small. If she gave birth in beast form, the babies would be even smaller. A Shirley had to figure out how to deliver the babies herself, having never helped anyone give birth in human form. Heavy rain started pouring down. Amidst the excruciating pain, Su-Yan remembered giving birth to her first child for the Black Panther. She wondered how that child was doing now. When a Shirley wondered curiously if the babies would be rabbits or mice, Su-Yan thought of Zulu's coldness, reminding herself not to get too emotionally attached to the NPCs of this world. To survive and return to Earth, the most important thing was to earn enough points. Thinking this, she pushed with all her might, simultaneously resolving that later she would head to the eastern region to continue her mission. Not long after, the cries of baby beasts rang out. Zulu walked in, surprised to see Su-Yan had actually given birth in human form. A Shirley joyfully carried the babies over to announce the news. 2 females and 1 male. Zulu took the male baby, his eyes flashing with astonishment upon discovering the child possessed mystic tier dual fire and water talents. The two girls, a rabbit and a mouse respectively. Both possessed blue tier wood talents. He silently evaluated that these were all incredibly precious children. While Su Yan fainted from exhaustion, the system continuously announced rewards. 150 points for each baby girl, and 1,000 points for the highly talented baby boy. The system also explained that the higher the talent, the greater the reward, making Su Yan realize that to accumulate many points for resurrection, she had to give birth to children with outstanding talents. When she woke up, Shirley gladly reported that she had stopped breathing earlier, terrifying everyone. Looking at the 3 tiny beast cubs beside her, Su Yan told herself they would transform into humans later, so there was no need to worry too much. Just then, Zulu walked in with water. Su Yan thought if she didn't have a better beast husband right now, having children with him was still the most effective way to earn points. So she deliberately acted coy, asking him to feed her water. Both Zulu and Shirley were surprised, but he obliged. However, when feeding her water, Zulu suddenly used too much force, making Su Yan choke. Shirley hurriedly supported her and scolded Zulu for being clumsy, while he merely offered a cold apology for not controlling his strength. That attitude made Su Yan certain that the person in front of her was no longer the gentle Zulu she once knew. Later, Shirley asked about feeding the babies. Su Yan checked and realized she completely lacked breast milk, just like her previous birth. She calmly said she had milk powder and baby bottles. Shirley was bewildered, not knowing what those were, when Zulu promptly brought the milk powder and bottles, saying Aola had told him to fetch them from the kitchen. Su Yan was about to get out of bed to show how to prepare the milk, but Shirley immediately made her lie back down, advising that a woman who just gave birth should rest and leave everything to them. After giving birth, Su Yan was still coughing violently from exhaustion. While no one was looking, she quietly swallowed a recovery pill, immediately feeling her body rapidly recover. Seeing her health improve unusually fast, Zulu observed her intently. Su Yan gently said that from now on, he would have to spend more time caring for the 3 little ones, but Zulu just smiled, replying that raising children was a male's responsibility, and she only needed to rest. Su Yan took out the milk powder and bottles, explaining this was baby food from the eastern region, made from goat's milk. Under her guidance, Zulu used his water ability to clean the bottles, then prepared milk for each child. Witnessing this, Shirley was amazed by this convenient item, and Su Yan promised to get more later for Shirley's own children. After leaving reassured, Shirley still couldn't stop marveling. When it was just the 2 of them, Zulu suddenly pulled the bottle from the cub's mouth, put the 3 babies aside, and approached Su Yan closely, stroking her hair and suggesting they have another child. Su Yan immediately refused, telling him to feed the babies first, then used an excuse to go outside for a bit, saying she would call Aola to help care for them. Zulu slightly frowned, then gave a faint smile. As soon as she left the house, Su Yan was even more certain of her intuition. Except for looking exactly like Zulu, this person's eyes, gestures, and personality were completely different. She was convinced this was an imposter, and that something had happened to the real Zulu. Before finding out the truth, she decided to endure it temporarily, not letting the imposter know she suspected him. Right then, Su Yan accidentally bumped into Lana. Lana immediately picked a fight, smugly showing off that Zulu was now treating her extremely gently, and would belong to her sooner or later, because both her status and her reproductive capabilities were far superior to Su Yan's. Hearing these boasts, Su Yan coldly replied that even if Zulu left her, it would absolutely not be because of Lana. Her calm demeanor and striking beauty left even Lana momentarily dazed, which only made her more jealous. Afterwards, Su Yan visited Shirley, finding her with a headache from having to record the supplies for the grand victory banquet between the mouse and rabbit tribes. Hearing this, Su-Yan immediately volunteered to help, as she knew how to read and write. Shirley joyfully hugged her like a savior. While working, Su-Yan even considered buying a pen from the system to write more conveniently, making Shirley deeply admire her, as neat handwriting appeared on the paper. Just then, Zulu appeared and told Su-Yan to go home since it was dark. He said Aola was worried she wouldn't be safe alone, while Shirley teasingly laughed that the person truly worried was him. Zulu didn't deny it, seeing this strong yet thoughtful side. Shirley blushed, thinking that if she didn't already have Lin Lang, she might have found it hard to resist Zulu's charm. Before parting ways, she whispered in Su-Yan's ear, reminding her to keep a close eye on her man. On the way back, the atmosphere between them was very distant. Su-Yan clearly remembered Zulu used to always hold her hand, but now the distance between them kept growing. She looked up at the full moon and softly sighed. But Zulu merely pointed out that female rabbits could get pregnant again 3 days after giving birth, telling her to rest up and have more children. Hearing these words, Su-Yan couldn't help remembering the old Zulu saying he didn't need kids, only wishing she wouldn't force herself. Thinking of this massive difference, she just quietly turned away, saying she missed the babies, and quickly walked home without another word. After returning, Zulu suddenly pulled Su-Yan into an embrace, insisting on knowing the meaning behind her unfinished sigh. Su-Yan replied angrily that he himself previously said he wouldn't force her to have kids, asking if he forgot because he had said it to too many females. Zulu just sneered, asserting she should know best how many females he had. Su-Yan scoffed softly and walked away, but he noticed lingering fire spiritual energy on her hand. Meanwhile, through the system screen, Su-Yan saw him muttering, doubting her true identity. And she was even more certain the person in front of her was just an imposter hiding some motive. Catching up to Su-Yan, Zulu said he just hunted a red fox to make a scarf for her. Su-Yan advised him to let it go since foxes hold grudges, but he coldly replied he already killed it. When he grabbed her hand, his cold hand and bloodshot, murderous eyes momentarily made Su-Yan shudder, feeling like she was dragged into an abyss. Just a second later, he returned to his gentle demeanor as if nothing happened, making it harder for her to distinguish truth from fake. Right then, Lana ran over holding a mink coat, showing off that the fur Zulu gave her was made into 2 coats, and intentionally presented one to him. Su-Yan visibly showed her jealousy, but Zulu calmly explained he was merely delivering it for a cousin, something Xiao Luo also knew about. The two left, leaving a furious Lana behind. On the way back, Su-Yan was still half believing, while Zulu nonchalantly said many females liked him. But that didn't mean he had to respond to all of them. Taking the chance, Zulu brought up having more kids again. Su-Yan was about to refuse, when the system immediately flashed a red warning prohibiting refusal to the reproductive demands of a high-talent male, warning that repeating the offense would cost 500 points. Forced by the system, she could only swallow her anger, telling herself the main goal was to gather enough points to return to Earth. Upon reaching home, Su-Yan surprisingly initiated, saying she was ready to have another child. But she had other plans in mind. If the newborn child's talent far exceeded the norm, she would have more proof that the person before her wasn't the real Zulu. During dinner, she continued probing when he mentioned an eagle tribe friend in the east. He asked back about her panther tribe friend. Su-Yan immediately retorted with the same question. Hearing her admit that friend was male, Zulu's eyes instantly turned red, coldly asking outright if she and he had mated, startling Su-Yan into realizing this guy was not only dangerous but extremely sharp. Su Yan angrily stood up and went back to her room, telling Zhu Lu to take his time eating and sleep with the kids tonight. Seeing her anger, Zhu Lu grew more suspicious of the identity of the panther friend she mentioned. A while later, A.O. La and Xiao Luo walked in, hearing him intentionally lament. That because Yan Yan was worried he wouldn't attend the victory banquet. He pretended to be a loyal male, only wanting to stay home with his mate for their second child. Both A.O. La and Xiao Luo immediately sided with him, making Su Yan, hiding in the room, grind her teeth in anger. She was even more convinced this imposter was gradually winning over her family. To deal with her, Su Yan asked the system about his identity and talent, but only got silence. Understanding the system was forcing her to have children, she angrily took off her clothes and loudly called Zhu Lu into the room. Seeing her seductive, semi-exposed state, Zhu Lu blushed. Su Yan took the initiative to embrace him, saying she'd help him review the 36 positions she taught him that night. The sounds of their intimacy echoed throughout the night, making the father and son, A.O. La, blush with embarrassment. Until the next morning, Zhu Lu still wouldn't let her go. He gently confessed that only Su Yan could accept him, then softly bit her chest to leave a mark, claiming her as his. It wasn't until noon that Su Yan dragged herself outside, exhausted, secretly lamenting that this imposter's stamina was terrifyingly strong. When she learned he carelessly threw away the 7-star red fruits, she angrily made him go find them immediately. Right then, she discovered she was pregnant again, leaving both Zhu Lu and Xiao Luo stunned. Without hesitation, Zhu Lu immediately used his teleportation ability to find the 7-star red fruits. At home, Su Yan took the chance to check the system panel. She knew she only had over 1,800 points, whereas returning to Earth required 100 million points. The system also revealed her current level was only a mortal beast birth system, and she needed to keep having kids to upgrade. Not long after, Zhu Lu brought back all 5 7-star red fruit plants and promised to ask the hunters to find more. His gentleness after last night made Su Yan waver for a moment, remembering she had to go to the beast god temple to help a Shirley. Su Yan was about to leave when Zhu Lu insisted on carrying her there. At the wine cellar cave, a Shirley had just chased away a male harassing Jiao Lian, advising her to leave the female cave and work at Qilu Garden. But Jiao Lian stubbornly wanted to stay, hoping one day she would get pregnant like the mother of Su Yan did back then. The arrival of Su Yan and Zhu Lu instantly drew everyone's attention. Zhu Lu was overly attentive, constantly reminding her, and even stood in front of her when he saw Jiao Lian staring at her belly. After he left, Su Yan initiated a conversation with Jiao Lian, but she acted inferior and took all her resentment out on Su Yan, claiming Su Yan had it all: beauty, a strong mate, and the ability to bear children, so she couldn't understand her suffering. Su Yan gently advised that she herself had also lived in hardship, and as long as one is alive, there is no high or low status. However, Jiao Lian only grew more resentful. Just then, Zhu Lu returned to pick Su Yan up. In front of everyone, he tenderly picked her up and unexpectedly kissed her, making the crowd of beastmen blush. After seeing the two off, a Shirley admitted she used to be jealous of Su Yan, but now she understood that befriending Su Yan brought much more good than confronting her. Contrary to that sincerity, Jiao Lian just sat quietly in the dark, her eyes filled with resentment, swearing that one day she would make everyone who was happy experience the same pain as her.